Racing news, driver interviews, race reviews, opinions, discussions, rumors, and more. Now here's Alan Pajari and Mike Ellis. Welcome to the iRacers Lounge. I am your host, Mike Ellis. iRacers Lounge is a podcast for the iRacer where we talk all things iRacing in a casual setting. Joining me today, Carlos Fonseca, Jeff Walton, and expecting a few others later. Yep. Welcome, guys.
How's it going?
Great.
Awesome. Well, hey, there's a lot of topics, so let's get right into it. Let's talk Peak Antifreeze series, the pros. Our old one of our old guests from one of our old shows, Kenny Humpy, wins at Richmond, and pretty impressive performance from what I saw from the recap video that I saw on Facebook.
Now, what about the overcast weather there?
I know. I was wondering if there was a camera problem. It was so dark.
Oh, no, it looked just overcast. You can see all the clouds and everything is about to rain.
So does that give it more grip? I guess, yeah.
A lot more grip.
Yeah, so pretty action-packed there. I didn't get to see the whole event. I just saw some of the highlights. But, hey, congrats to Kenny Humpy out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrecks in that, from what I saw.
Well, hey, it's a short track, Richmond, you know.
Yep.
Let's see, on the Grand Prix side of things, we had the Watkins Glen event, and our old champion, Gregor Hutu of Team Redline, took the win and remains undefeated at Watkins Glen. It's his 7th win at the track in 7 years.
Congratulations.
Well, you know, last time, Jeff, I was talking about Gregor Hutu, and hey, was he missing something? You know, we've only seen him running second and third and stuff, and he wasn't getting as many wins. But, boy, it looks like he's back.
Hell, if you got a track that you're good at, you're probably always going to be good there no matter what.
Yep, absolutely. So, Martin Kroenke second, Mitchell de Jong, who I like to follow, he's in third for Watkins Glen. The points for the Grand Prix, Martin Kroenke still our point leader, Gregor Hutu second, Mitchell de Jong third.
That's only a 5-point difference between first and second.
Yeah, it's quite a battle. So, I love watching the recap videos, and I don't get to watch the live events because they are kind of in odd times for my time zone anyway.
Wasn't there like a pileup or so and going into like the S's or something? Or some wrecks?
There was some action for sure, so I don't recall exactly what it was.
All I saw on the forum was someone posted a picture of like 3 cars in the air and someone talking about chaos, so I don't know what that was about.
And I guess we're going to start a new segment here and start talking about the Blank Pane GT series. Since that's the new, pro license, so to speak. And they had their event, their debut at Monza.
I don't see one BMW anywhere inside on this screenshot they got. That's one of the worst places for it.
Let's see here. I didn't get to read too much about this. Let me see if I can figure out who won here.
I don't know. I'm showing it here on screen, but I don't see it.
It's they got quite a review here. I'm kind of looking through the text
to
see, but it's not really apparent who won it. But interesting. Round 1 is taken off, and those guys. I remember last fall we were kind of toying with the idea of having a team and getting in this series, and of course that was all a dream. Got to have that road I rating.
All right, I think I found the winner here for that Blank Pane. It's Alexander, I don't even know what it says. It's just VOB or something like that.
Yep.
Or Vob,
There
I
you
don't
go.
know. I don't know how to say it. That's
right.
Go on.
Oh, here it is. I found it on Facebook. It's Core Motorsports. CORE.
Didn't Tifosi Racing try to get into that series last year?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Last fall, we were dreaming about doing that. I mean, we ran the events, but we really weren't even close because we didn't have the iRating, you know.
Yeah, me and Jose ran under another team we started with Tifosi in the name still, but it was our own team we had, and I don't know, it didn't go so well.
It's not easy, or everyone would.
Oh no, especially when, let's see, the other day they threw us like for just now recently we were in there we do this every weekend, race the series, the regular Blanc Plains endurance, and we got thrown into top split, and best we could do was 30th.
Ouch.
Yeah, that was
nothing more humbling than that, huh?
Yeah, that was pushing every lap and could not get past 30th, and then we eventually wrecked it. Jose wrecked it, not me.
Right.
Just not our luck in that series.
So let's move on to NIS, which is my favorite, the NASCAR iRacing series. Richmond. Man, so Richmond, we had this thing called Error 22. Oh, and how yucky was that? I mean, Wednesday night, several of our teammates couldn't race. I think Thursday night, I got it as well. What'd you guys think of Error 22?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't have it.
So you were exempt from it. You didn't happen at all, huh?
Nope.
Jeff?
We just didn't know what was going on, and the forums started lighting up. I think people took it to Twitter, and we just didn't. Nobody knew what was going on or how to fix it. I mean, we tried deleting stuff, reinstalling things, and it just nothing would work. And you just kept getting more and more frustrated.
Yeah, you'd search the forums for Error 22, and it would take you back to posts from 2012 or something that said, delete the car file in question. So people were trying that and trying various things. And then pretty soon, you know, I think Brad Wren said, I deleted all the cars. And then another guy on the forum said, I deleted all the cars and all the tracks and re-downloaded them. But it was very intermittent, and nobody could really place how to fix it. It was like sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't.
Yeah, I'm just very thankful. It seemed like it only really happened to 2 splits, and those 2 splits didn't go official, so those 2 splits didn't lose iRating. You know, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, so it started Wednesday, it happened Thursday. Friday, I really was hoping iRacing would step up and say, we acknowledge an issue here, you know, we're working on it or something, but they didn't at all. And I think it was the following Monday when they finally did, and they said the problem was it was a particular server did not get all their files updated on the last patch. And once they updated the files on that particular server, then it fixed the issue. So all the stuff that we were trying was all just random stuff that had nothing to do with the original problem.
A for effort for people just trying to figure it out, though.
Oh, yeah. I think people were uninstalling iRacing completely and reinstalling and trying all kinds of stuff.
I mean, you picture it. You get set, you get psyched, you're ready to go, you've done your practice, you hit join session or the race session, and boom, error 22. And that's when you kind of go into panic mode because you're already registered.
Well, that's after waiting 2 minutes on the loading screen. So you're waiting there, it's going to come up, it says loading, and after like a 2-minute wait, you get the little error.
Yep.
So then the concern, I guess, right after the race kicked off was, okay, am I going to lose iRating? Well, it turned out I did not lose iRating, and I think a lot of people didn't. Because what happened was the people that were in particular splits that were on that particular server, that server didn't go official because only a few people could get in.
Yeah, and if I remember right, Brad Wren was able to ghost in that server, correct?
Yeah, he was trying everything because he's pretty smart like that. But he disconnected eventually from the server, and we all know once you disconnect, you can't reconnect. But then
No.
he went and found the session and he ghosted it, and he was able to be in there. So it just made it even more confusing about what was going on.
Even got more confusing too because our split, everyone got in, but some people were just getting dropped randomly and eventually made their way back in. Another thing is it wasn't only NIS too that's all suffered this. It happened in, again, the same thing, blank pane. Our splits, a lot of people were just getting dropped, could not get in and had the blank page.
A fixed, yeah, it was happening on A fixed as well.
So it's just not dedicated to NIS then.
No, but that's where all the noise came from, obviously, because it is the most popular series in iRacing.
Oh yeah, a lot of people for that one particular night. So how many were, like 400? 300
Yeah,
people.
about that. Yeah, about that, Carlos.
Yeah, so so Richmond. All right, so how did we do at Richmond? Let's go through it. How'd you guys do, Jeff?
I don't even remember. That was 2 weeks ago. I'm just, Talladega wore me out.
Let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, Richmond. It was tough because we missed that one race. I don't think I could run the other fixed, and I only had one more attempt. Let me see if I can find the results here. I know our very own Brad Wren puts up results every Monday when we run. And there's the one from Talladega. Let me go back and find Richmond.
Yeah, I would show the stats too, but I only got Talladega's open. So while we're waiting for Mike to get that, go ahead and I'll talk about mine then. My week that I had there.
Yeah, here it is, right here. Carlos, you had a 5th.
Oh, there we go then.
In open, and a 10th in fixed.
I guess I can talk about my fix then. No, open. That was my second attempt, actually. I think I got the 5th on open. Yeah, the first time.
5th.
Fourth time was like 12th or something. Or no, it was much worse because I ended up getting spun. Or not spun, just a lot of shenanigans with another rival team that I'm not too fond of right now. But anyways, what was it, the following day in fixed? Same guy tries to intentionally get me, but we're not going to, I guess, talk too much into that. You can pretty much see some of that on screen, whoever's watching this, but yeah. That's where I ended up getting 5th in that race.
That's some carryover from some league action, probably, huh?
Oh no, a league deal was embarrassing for me as I ran into the tires. So I think I talked about that last show.
Right. Jeff, it shows you had a 5th in open, 28th in fixed.
Yeah, that fixed race, too many people were just talking about whatever they want to talk about in race chat. And on a restart, something happened down the back straightaway. Next thing I know, cars were sideways and got ran over. And then the 5th finish, that's pretty good. Hey, that's top 5 at Richmond. I'm happy with that one.
Boy, I tell you what. Let's see what I got. I got a 4th in open, 11th in fixed. So I was pleased as punch to have a top 5. A top 5 is like a win for me at a non-restrictor plate track.
Yep.
So I was really pleased. Some other honorable mentions on our team. Dave Smith, he got a 2nd in the open at Richmond. And Brad Wren got a 4th in the open as well.
So our 2 set of guys got good finishes.
Yeah, Jose, he got 7th, both in open and fixed, which is a great run for Jose if you've been following along. He's had some real bad luck recently. So it was nice for him to get a couple top 10s out of Richmond.
Yeah, and Kyle Fishman, he's in my split most of the time. Richmond, a couple times he got door slammed and had people turn him around, and that was a pretty frustrating week for him. I'm not exactly sure on his finishes, but he tried.
19th and 21st. Ouch.
Yeah,
that
like
was his best.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just people just come on down on him, and he was riding. He wasn't racing anybody. It's just nature of the beast, I guess.
Yep. All right, let's move on. The Talladega was the next week, which is my bread and butter, boys, and I proved it again with my 46th and 47th career win at Talladega, both in fixed.
After a rough start to the week.
Yeah, wrecked out the first time by a certain individual that actually wrecked me and my teammate Brad Wren.
Hey, almost got me
same
too.
Race.
Close to getting me too. You got me sideways.
Yeah, so I almost got all three of us, and it wasn't like he was picking on Tifosi Racing.
No, none of it was intentional.
It was just other people he was hitting too.
It wasn't just that. It was just he was just a little too aggressive and not really using his head. I'm like, he wasn't out to get no one, but it sure seemed that way. We almost got spun. Who knows how many times?
And yeah, so it was a crazy week. Brad, he helped me win one of those wins, so I owe him everything. We ran first, second there for a while, and on that last restart, I got him in line behind me, and he raced me clean, and I appreciate it. And he made sure the team ended up 1 and 2, and he really raced that really well. So thanks, Brad, for keeping it clean.
Anyways, what is your strategy when you come into these races? Like we're all like grasping at straws here, like trying to figure out what we're doing wrong compared to I'm comparing to Michael Waltrip. Really good at these tracks.
It's weird. I don't know. I was telling you guys on TeamSpeak throughout the week.
Yeah, I don't think I was on.
Track position. This week was all about track position, and I was I can qualify good. I don't know why. I spent a lot of time in my early iRacing days doing hosted Talladega, and that's all I ran for a long time. But I know how to do it, and I can qualify in the top 5 usually. So I did get a pole on one of the races this week, so it is no fluke. I did get a pole position, and so in the open I finished a best of 4th. And in the fixed, obviously first with 2 wins.
Yep.
And teammate Matt Boley, he only had 1 start for the week because of his work and whatnot, and he won it in the fixed Sunday night. So congratulations to Matt. Jeff, congratulations to you. You won the same night I did. Your split at Talladega, man. And you've got a couple nice wins Well, you got several wins this season already.
Yeah, I mean, I really owe it to, our team, Tifosi, because, we have our race chat. We talk about things. I mean, even our qualifying lap, Mike, I think you were in front of, you left before everybody else did on the qualifying lap. And you just talked your entire lap on TeamSpeak of exactly where to put the car. And then, when we go and do practices, everyone talks about where we need to be, how we need to do it. But it's just, I don't know what else to say, but, Mike, you have really led this team on our super speedways. I've got a Daytona 500. Brad Miller's got a Daytona 500 win. I've now have a Talladega win. Matt Boley's got a Talladega win. You've got 2 wins this week or last week. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, you really do carry this team on the super speedways.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
That's why we're lost every time. Mike's never in our league races sometimes skips some or doesn't qualify. We're just lost when it comes to those without Mike.
I don't know what it is. I every time we come into these weeks, I'm like, okay, everything's been a fluke before. I'm just going to run like I usually do and try to sneak in the top 15 or something. But I don't know. I just get up there and I'm able to keep it. And the other thing that I'll say that works is you just got to dig on the bottom. And everyone gives up on the bottom at some point and goes up to the second lane and tries to make passes because sometimes it actually does work. But I tell you what, the bottom always prevails, it seems like.
Well, you get the options when a wreck happens.
Well, that's true. And I don't know. I just dig on the bottom. I just stay there. Eventually, we just work my way up. Once I get up there, I just seem to stay there. So
Yep.
I don't know what it is. It's a knack. It's all the practice I think I maybe did in my early iRacing career. I got a lot of wins and hosted that I don't count towards my totals. I know I'd have several hundred wins if we counted all those, but I don't. I only count officials. So
Didn't you do some hosted race where you beat who was it that was in the car? It's a pro.
oh yeah, I've won some Nordgar races on these plate tracks. In fact, I won one earlier this year.
I
So
think,
yeah.
Mike, I think you and I were in a Norgard race, and you were telling me, coming out of corners, what to do to where you would suck up to where we could get the run. I mean, it's things like that with this team that carry on to our finishes and show that we are a super speedway team. And I was really surprised at how well the outside lane actually worked for us. Kind of, I guess, in the lower splits, I guess because people weren't really pushing that much, but you could get a run on the outside. I went from 15th to 1st in probably 2 laps on the
Oh
outside.
yeah, it's not just lower splits either. It happened. I was in top split. I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday, and racing like that too. That's what actually got me almost to the lead was because of the outside.
And you're right, and it works. But what happens when you get there? What do
Stalls.
they do? They go to the bottom, right?
Yeah, or
Once
yeah,
you get to the lead, you're going to the bottom. And that's what I mean is when I say I'm digging the bottom, that's when you're in the top 5. When you're running third, second,
Yep.
first, you're digging the bottom. Okay,
that's
that's all there is to it.
That's the only reason I had a chance on a Saturday afternoon fix is because of staying on the bottom. I was remembering that. You're saying hold the bottom, and it paid off.
Yeah, and everything in your body says, I need to go up, and you got to force yourself, stay down. Because it just shakes out. Now, one of those wins, I would say I didn't luck into. I was running third, and the 2 leaders wrecked themselves. And I was content with running third as I took the white. I knew that I was going to stay on the bottom, and I was going to take that third place. I was not going to wreck myself out of a good finish. And sure enough, I just did that, and the 2 people in front of me cooked bumpers, and I won the race. And that was how the first win went down. So,
Yeah, I mean, in my open, I got shuffled back, and I just couldn't get back up to the front with a 16. I'm not happy with it, but I'll take it.
yeah. And the second win, I'll mention Brad Wren again. He finished second to me, and obviously he pushed me there to the win. But once we were kind of by ourselves, as we came to the checkered, he pulled out, and we went side by side to the checkered line, and I beat him by a few inches, But he made it interesting for the fans anyway. Yeah, good stuff at Talladega. I'm so happy. My confidence is way up. Jeff, I know yours is too. You're at an all-time high I rating right now.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
confidence is up. So, what's next? We go into Kansas tonight. What do you guys think?
I'm kind of scared. I just downloaded the track. I'm gonna try to get some. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get some practice laps in for tonight.
So it's got to run the top. Forget about the bottom. You only run the bottom when you're take the restart or the green coming into 1 and 2. Run the bottom because you'll lose some track position if you try to run the top there as you come up to speed.
See, let's say what I've been noticing, like people who are near the back or from halfway on back, from like 14th, 15th back, they usually just run the bottom the entire race, even though it is, let's see, at my pace a couple tenths slower than the top. And I don't know, it's just mainly for survival because it's going to be a cautionless train of people just getting stuck in behind each other. That's the problem with Kansas.
You can't pass because the thing is on the top, right? And if you try to go under, you go down to pass, you're slower, so you can't pass. So it's a crazy track.
Like our teammate on Monday night, Integrity, league racing we did. He had actually one of the best qualifying laps I've ever seen. Managed to get to the ones, but besides that, he was 4th place, one of the fastest cars on track, and probably could have stole the win that night, but just could not get around 3rd place because you go to pass someone, whoever's behind you fills in that spot that you left. If you can't complete the pass, you're screwed.
Yep, you're hung out to dry on the
That's why I
bottom.
hate this track.
And boy, you can enter hot and high is what I call it. Boy, right up against the wall when you enter 1 and 3, and you're just hot as can be getting in there.
Now, I'll tell you one thing that I figured out in practice today for at least fixed. If you can get your car, like where its left side tires are below, let's say, the top line seam, that seam that's on the left of your car.
As you enter?
Yeah, all throughout the entire corner. If you get half and half, let's say right side of your car on the way top line and left's right beneath the seam between the pavement, it just helps turn the car. But if you're not careful, it'll get loose and snap on you. But you can really make time up where it won't get tight going through the corner.
I think I do that already just to try to keep away from the wall a little bit.
Yeah, but you got to hit the seam just right or you're going to lose a lot of time.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my plan tonight, just download the track, is just to ride around probably the first half of the race, and then I've got, a couple more nights that I can run it.
Yeah, you'll get the hang of it pretty quick. You'll realize where you can run.
That's
you already
right.
have a leg up because we just told you stay high.
That's right.
All right. So that's NIS. Let's see what else we got going. We got some random news here. Ty Majeski in real life racing takes the iRacing.com car back to the winner's circle.
I've followed Ty for a little bit. Any race he starts, he's going to be in the top 5.
Oh, it might be not top.
I've said this before on this podcast. I'm waiting for NASCAR to pick this guy up. Why haven't they picked him up? He's still running ARCA and stuff.
Even in ARCA, you mean like super lates?
Super lates, right.
And I believe if I read it right, he's doing mechanical engineering in college.
Yeah, so he's got the engineering thing going, which is almost a prerequisite in NASCAR these days. Now this is his 6th win of the year, and that was Madison International Speedway.
And I believe it's the 3rd time this year he's set the fastest speed on the track.
Yep.
I've sent a message to his publicist that handles his Facebook page and told him about our podcast. I'm waiting to get a reply back. She said she was going to talk to him about him coming on here and talking to us.
I'd love to. I always wanted to ask him, why don't you run NIS or the A car? He only runs super lates in iRacing. Or not even super lates. I think he runs late models, right?
No, they're super lates.
I think.
Oh, super lates. Okay.
Yeah, you can kind of tell because of the arrow.
Also, in other news in real world racing, iRacing announced they have arranged a discounted ticket program for the Mazda MX-5 Cup Series race. That's coming up at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, April 29th through May 1st, which was last weekend. So I guess I won't mention that. That's old news.
Yep.
But that's cool. I guess if you went, let us know how it went. Let's talk about release notes and patches. They're busy still. Season 2, patch 2.1 was April 20th. And the changes and stuff, it looks like this mainly bug fixes.
Well, they got so many. Why not?
Yeah, and that's why they keep doing these patches. Now, remember, they usually do a release every 3 months. And we had our release for this quarter, but they've done, I think this is the 4th little update since that, because it's just not performing how they wanted it to, and so they just keep hammering on it. They're not really working on the builds, 3 months from now. They're just working on these little ones, trying to get these bugs knocked out.
So we're gonna mention the whole fuel adjustment deal now with the Cup cars, which
What
is
is
part
it?
of this patch, where you can no longer take all the fuel out, say for qualifying, then put it back in for the race. So you got to start with whatever fuel you got in it. I
It
think, or
says
something like
this
that.
fuel behavior is now identical to all other NASCAR series on iRacing.
Or it's something to do with you have to have a full tank for qualifying.
Yeah, it always uses a full tank as it does when race session begins.
Yep.
This fixes various issues that arose from allowing sessions prior to the race to use a different amount of fuel.
That's only for those series.
I'm
So-
sure glad with this release note that came, or with the patch 2.1 that came out, because when the previous fix they had, I was blinking all over the place. And with this new patch that came out, nothing's changed. I'm not blinking anymore. And I think, Mike, you had a problem a while back where they released an update and you started blinking. And then when they sent the patch out, you stopped blinking.
My blinking is pretty continuous. It's a September build. And I still have the I don't get dropped, but I have blink outs. And I have the error detected on network device problem, which I can't seem to get rid of. Yeah, they did do a netcode fix where they fixed an issue that was incorrectly interpreting the values implied by your connection type selection on the account page. So we've been talking about that for several podcasts now. They keep monkeying with that particular setting, and apparently it wasn't right, so they had to put a fix out for it.
I'm glad they did.
Okay. The other thing that happened was they announced they were going to do a live website server test on April 27th. However, it didn't actually happen that I saw. Did you guys notice?
No, I didn't notice.
Yeah, I think they postponed it, or they decided not to do it for whatever reason, but it was the first time that they've announced such a thing, and usually they don't do that in production. They do it in beta. So I was a little surprised by it. Took note of it, but I don't think it actually happened. Okay, so next up on the 28th was the 2.2 release. So they've been very busy. And this fixed the error 22 issue, okay? Well, it didn't fix it, but they put in a way to monitor better the error 22 issue by getting alerts and such. And just other, various bug fixes. It's not a very big build or patch. There was just a few things listed there, so... Next up in real life, iRacing posted a couple jobs. One of them is still open, software engineer programmer based in Bedford.
Are you a
at the
software
home
engineer?
office. I'm not,
Oh,
but if you are, that might be a fun job.
or was it Alan? That?
There was a second job, and if you click the link, the topic does not exist. So I'm guessing it might have been filled already. So they posted the job, it got filled, they removed the post. I did read the post. It was a vehicle dynamics engineer. And I think it's one of those guys that looks at the actual race car and figures out, angles and downforce and springs and shocks and stuff, and translates that into the software somehow. I don't know exactly if that's right, but I did read the description of the job. Sounds like somebody might have got it. Okay, moving on. I found some other tidbits here from Tony Gardner, and one of them is, I'm going to read this quote. "We are working on additional competition that we are calling Time Attack. It will not replace time trials, so that will still be available. Time Attack is a pure hot lapping competition. For those that remember, sort of like GPL rank. It will be offline driving like it is in our testing mode, but the standings obviously will be online. I think it is going to be very fun.
Huh.
Time Attack. What do you guys think of that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Sounds
me
like
neither.
time trials that nobody
Yeah.
uses, right?
I mean, I guess it'd be good for people that, do the road courses that want to get, to where if you go off track, it says that it'll be offline, so your SR will not be affected, and you can perfect your qualifying laps. That's
Or
what I take.
I want to have the best qualifying lap at this track. I want to own the track record kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's only for road.
I don't know.
I don't know, Carlos.
Okay. Then Tony went on to mention in the forums, he's trying to organize the road series and the IMSA stuff and the GTs and the prototypes and group them into certain groups and stuff. And so I'm going to read a few things that he put in here that's kind of pertinent to those discussions. First, we decided to mix things up. We will have a GT Challenge series with the 3 cars, the 2 GT1 cars in class, and then the 4 GT2.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Actually, been looking for a reason to try the 4GT again, and there it is.
Second tidbit here, IMSA will change a bit and have the VET DP and GT3 cars. I don't know how many GT3 cars, but guessing at least 2 or so. The Radicals going back to solo. The next one is, the question is being debated here is the HPD car. It's going to go into IMSA or the GT series, which we used to have, and we called it something like the Proto GT series. There will not be agreement by everyone, we know that. We're leaning towards putting the HPD with the GT1 and GT2 cars and having IMSA be the VET DP and GT3 cars for now.
I like the HPD GT1 and GT2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll draw more participation.
Right.
Hopefully.
So lots of discussion. If you guys are interested in that, you need to be on the forums participating in those discussions, because they're literally making the decisions, as the discussion goes along.
That's what I like about iRacing, where they actually listen to us. The community.
Yeah, they're really good about that, aren't they? So talking about IMSA and crossover to real racing, IMSA.com, the actual racing series, posted a article about sim racing, and they call it Racing Immersion on a Whole New Level. And they put it up on their website here recently, and it's a nice little article. It's got a quote in there from a guy from Kevin Bobbitt from iRacing, where they interviewed him, and he's got some discussion about it and so forth, that, how the real world crosses over. Real world drivers, how are they using the sim, and what do they think of it, and that kind of thing. So neat article. I love getting exposure to other race fans, to iRacing, so this is good stuff. Okay. And the next thing we want to talk about is this interview that took place with Tony Gardner again about dirt and the dirt confirmed and all that. And he let out some good juicy details here on the dirt stuff. And it's a very long Q&A. I think I'm just going to go through and read just a couple tidbits of it. So give me a second. Let me get organized here. Okay. The answer is yes. Moisture is part of the formula for dirt, and will dynamically change as you progress in the race. The moisture is in the dirt is also dynamically impacted by the weather at the track. So he's talking about, like we talk about rubber compounds today on pavement, and how the rubber works. He's talking about how the dirt is going to work. And there's a moisture component into the equation.
I hope they let us choose different tire compounds for dirt like they have in real life.
Well, staying on the wet moisture thing, it says here, weather will impact the moisture content just as it does for the asphalt track. Yes, we could start every race with a different dirt state, so each race could be different, but just the weather alone, if that is different, will change things in regard to the racing. So you could have overcast or a hot day, and it's going to, affect the dirt differently, apparently.
Now, speaking of tear-offs, because you're going to get dirt on your windshield or your helmet virtually or something. When it, they said something about they're going to add a key to it, like to map it to it or whatever.
Okay,
Kind of reminds me of an old game.
Right. So here's the next one. Will surface changes such as cushions and ruts be a three-dimensional graphic or just a two-dimensional grip change? He says it's 2D for now, with what we hope the illusion of 3D with moving and blending textures, but it's all in development. What we're doing has never been done before, but we're pretty excited about it. The next step, if we go there as an engineering project, is to provide the artists support for 3D for dirt graphics. That is not in the initial plans, however. Okay. Will any of these developments help make grass, dirt, and sand more realistic for the paved courses? Yes. For example, now in iRacing, dirt and grass kick up from the tires. Because of this project, not only will dirt grass kick up from the tires, it will stay on the asphalt surface. In theory, cars driving through it could kick up some dust, etc.
That'd be kind of neat.
One of the things you see most at tracks is walls and cars getting mud and dirt on them. Yes, the plan is the cars will pick up dirt and for the weight of that dirt to impact the physics of the cars as the race moves on.
That I like.
That's pretty cool, huh? Yes, we plan on having tear-offs in some form to remove dirt from windshields. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about?
I've got one, Mike. It says, let's say there are 20 cars in the event. Can the system be built to have 10 cars do a heat race with the other 10 drivers watch, and then do a second heat race with the other 10 drivers that previously ran, watch them, and then line the future race up by the finishing order of those heats?
That's kind of like what NASCAR did at Richmond, huh? With the Xfinity series, yeah.
My guess is
he actually addressed that here in the Q&A and basically said that's not going to happen. It's going to be in the same format that the current races are in, I believe.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that leagues can't,
This is the big one that I wanted to get out there. Let me jump on this Q&A right here. It appears that dirt will be split into road and oval and have its own IR and SR ratings. Will everyone start at the normal level as we did when the service started in 2008? Or will calculations be made based on the driver's paved rating? The answer is, adding the new license types is a large project, especially on the web engineering side, but that is the current plan. Yes, everyone would start at the same level, and the history of other licenses would not factor into the dirt licenses. It should be fun to have this many people all start together at the same level with a new form of racing within our centralized structure. So that answered the license questions, guys. Or the IR question.
I like that.
Oh, let's see what else here. Okay. I'm sure we'll be adding more dirt cars to iRacing. We are motivated to do many things, including adding more dirt cars. We understand dirt racers, but there are all different forms. Right now, we're starting with Clint Boyer's super late model for the oval and the Ford Fiesta on the roadside.
That's a lot of power to be throwing down on the super late model.
All right, let's see if there's any other tidbits here I want to bring up. Since the announcement about dirt racing, how would you compare the hype among fans and pro drivers? Do you feel that there's been more outreach by professionals to give their input? The excitement has been great. More pro drivers reached out to us in the first week to express their excitement than I can ever remember, and that includes both sides of the pond. So it sounds like the dirt thing is really quite a project, guys, and it sounds like it's well underway too. Hearing some of these details.
I did see one to where he said Eldora is being scanned this week. I know the video said it's possible we'll roll out dirt racing this year, but we shall see. That is certainly the goal, and it is possible, but I don't like to predict release dates, especially for something like this. So I still say we're not going to get dirt this year.
That's what that means. Translation, Tony Gardner speak. What he just said means you're not going to get it anytime soon. I've heard him say that same quote before. It's called iRacing soon. All right, so that's enough about dirt. Let's move into hardware. Hardware. Inside Sim Racing had put up an article, April 20th, SRX GT Dash for the Fanatec CSW is now available for pre-order. And boy, this thing looks nice. It's like a carbon fiber dash for the wheel. It's got a little hub that you would hook the steering wheel on. Big, nice gauges, big real buttons. This thing's a beast.
Got the LCD panel there too, I think.
Now, I don't think I would have room for this thing, for a dash like this, but I know a lot of custom cockpits. If you're making a custom cockpit, this is probably the way to go.
So isn't this the wheel Brad has in Jose? CSW?
Yeah, so this would be like an add-on for that. If you have a CSW and you want something nice, check this out. It's called the SRX GT Dash.
That's a very
cool.
nice steering.
Yeah, nice buttons. It looks very realistic. It's got the rotary buttons. It's got the ignition button with the cover on it. It's got, push buttons, different colors, rotaries, carbon fiber, printed graphics on the carbon fiber. Yeah, it's really sweet.
And it looks like it's compatible across the board, with a whole bunch of other racing sims. Tons of games it'll work for. Man, did you see the price though? €700?
Yeah, 700. How many US dollars is that?
I'm guessing over $1,000.
Yikes. Yeah, this stuff's not cheap, folks. Next up on hardware. This one's almost like a mini rant, and I probably have done this rant before, but I'm going to say FOV, FOV, FOV. Does anyone know what this means? And every time I look in the forum and I see somebody's sim rig and they have 3 monitors and they're butted up next to each other and they're literally flat, there's no angle to them, or there's just like a couple degrees of angle, I just lose my mind.
It'd just be weird seeing your window and say a cup car next to you instead of beside you, or slightly to the left instead of right next to your face.
I guess my rant is how do people that are smart enough to know to get triples, they're not smart enough to set their FOV right and to set the angles on these screens correctly? I don't understand it. They're smart enough to build a computer, but they can't turn the stupid screen to the right angle. And I understand mounting concerns, and I don't have a place to do that. Well, you figured everything else out, Figure it out.
That's one thing that bothers
I
me.
agree.
I don't know, a whole bunch of other like sim racing people out there. Let's see, there's a guy who does a lot of these sims, but he drifts. He's a drifter, and I don't know if anyone knows him. He's the Slap Train. That's his name there on YouTube. But his FOV is so, I don't know what to say, big. It's like you're really far away, and he's already far away from his screen, you know? And it's like a 20-something inch screen, and FOV is still like what it is at default here on iRacing.
Yeah,
Drives
it's
me nuts.
amazing. You know, and if people realized if they have the FOV set right and they got the angles on the monitors right, what a huge difference it makes. It makes a huge difference. It's like night and day. Yes, there was a time in my iRacing career that I had multiple monitors and I did not have my FOV right. But once I figured it out and once I got it right, it was like a light switch went off. It was just totally different.
Yep. See, I have a single screen, and mine's about 10 degrees off, you know, because I can't see to the left or right. I need some view, but I would like to bring it in, you know, so I can see everything happens slower to give me more accuracy. But I leave mine a little bit higher than what it is, for the fact is I just can't see. But bring it closer, it looks way better, and it feels better.
It does. Get that screen as close to the wheel as you can get it. If your center screen is more than 3 feet away from your steering wheel, guess what? You're doing it wrong.
Unless you drive in an old Duesenberg or something. Something from the 30s.
Okay, so that's my rant. Get it right, folks. Look, I'm a tech guy. You can call me, you can message me, you can hit me up on Twitter. I'll spend 10 minutes with you on the phone and talk you through it and tell you how to do it. I don't care if we've never met before. Call me. I'll help you. I'm happy to.
Hell, half your messages are going to be, how do I run Talladega? Now that you
No, I
mentioned
won't
it.
do that. I think I already gave you all my tips there, but
Yep.
I'll tell you what, get your FOV right, this field of view. It does make a difference, folks.
Yeah, this
Learn
guy
how
has
to
the
do
same
it.
ones I do.
Okay, next up for hardware, software, Trading Paints has released a update. Steve Lavender posted on April 27th. A new update has been released. You can go to tradingpaints.com and download that.
Yep.
And what do you guys think? What's the difference?
I'll just explain this right now. The first day, people lost their minds because it broke Trading Paints where it wouldn't work or install properly. But shortly, these guys are really good at taking, you know, information from people and getting right to work. It took like 10-15 minutes, and they already had a new exe uploaded, you know, to fix that problem.
Yeah, these guys, they do a good job. I am a pro subscriber. I like to support the community. Folks, you wouldn't be able to see proper paints on race cars without these two gentlemen putting in their time and effort to make this website work. So thank you to Steve Lavender and his buddy, the programmer. I forget his name, but they did a good job, and I haven't had any problems with it. So I have one more thing, Carlos, I want to bring up that's not on the script, and I don't know if I discussed it last time or not. Maybe you'll remember. Super virtual resolution.
Was that your new feature in your GPU or what?
Yeah, I think it is.
No.
Or
I
something else?
downloaded a new. I woke up one day and fired up my computer, and AMD Radeon software said there's an update. So I said, okay, let's do it. So I downloaded the new update, installed it, and there's a new, you know, it looked like it's got reskinned. It didn't look any different, but I did see this new check mark called Super Virtual Resolution. And so I tried it. And I was amazed. I have Acer 27-inch monitors. They're 16 by 9. If you look at the specs on these monitor, the maximum resolution is 1920 by 1080, just like most monitors, right? Well, guess what? With this check mark and this new software driver, they're now 1440p monitors.
Oh, I'm looking at this right now about it. It says get quality, it says on their page here. Get quality that rivals up to 4K, even on a 1080p display while playing your favorite games.
And you know what? It looks great. Now, okay, so this is what it actually did for me. My resolution used to be 5760 by 1080.
Okay, so you see
Now
here.
it's 7680 by 1440.
Jeez. Okay, what I'm looking at here, it tells you, I think for your GPU, that's all you can get is 1440p, like you're saying. But
Yep.
the newer AMD cards, like the 390X, 290X or something like that, they can actually go up to 4K. I'm guessing it's upscaled. I don't know what it is.
It looks awesome. Okay, so not only do I have increased Windows resolution of 7680 by 1440, but like you said, when you run it in Sim, it looks even better than 1440. I mean, I can't explain it. It's like you said, it looks like a 4K monitor. I mean, it looks awesome, and it's visually it is a difference I can see visually. The other thing is, because of the 1440p part, I have better vertical FOV now than I did before, which means, guess what? I can see my RPM gauge now in the 8 car. And I could only see the top of it before. Now I can see most of it. So it's a win-win. And if you have a Radeon card, an AMD Radeon software, I highly recommend this update. And look for that check mark called Super Virtual Resolution. And yes, I had to spend some reconfiguration time on my Windows, because all of a sudden I had 3 1440p monitors, and all the fonts are smaller than they used to be, and because the windows are bigger and so forth. So I went and had to adjust the font size in Windows a little bit. I bumped them up. I changed the zoom on certain, Google Chrome and different things to get it back kind of where I wanted it. But I really am enjoying it, and I strongly recommend it.
Yep.
All right, and that's it for hardware. Let's go right into closing the show and final thoughts. Jeff, what do you got?
I'm glad Era 22 is done and over with. I love the new update from Trading's Paint. And we're on to Kansas.
10-4 there. Kyle, I see you jumped in. We didn't get to hear from you much, but you have any closing thoughts?
No, not today. I'm sorry. I'm cooking dinner.
All right. I'm ready for dinner too. Carlos.
Let's see. Me and Jose and Brad Wren are going to be running the 24 hours in Nürburgring, and, well, we don't really have enough drivers for a whole 24 deal that actually has the track and car. We're running the C-Spec, and we're, looking for, decent drivers who can keep a car alive at one of the hardest tracks in the world. So,
yeah, it could be a tryout to be on our team permanently, too.
Maybe. I don't know. You should get the
if you're
track, Mike.
interested, hit us up, because a lot of us on the team don't want to spend the $30 on the track. So
yeah,
we're going to sit this one out.
So far only 3 of us in the Russ C-Spec, because I think it's the funnest of the 4 cars that are being run. So yeah.
All right. So if you guys want to race with Tifosi Racing, this is your chance. Find Carlos and hit him up. My final thought is, man, I got a new gun this week, and I got distracted, and I missed the podcast recording because they called and said, come pick up your new gun. And so obviously I dropped everything immediately and did that.
Like a kid
so
on
anyway,
Christmas.
when that happened, Carlos, you recorded some material from the team just chatting and stuff, and we're going to play that at the end of the podcast here for everyone to listen to. If you want to stick around for some additional content, just hang out. Other than that, that's it. We'll talk to you next time.
Also, for live viewers, that you're going to have to find the link that I'm going to put to our SoundCloud link and all our other various websites that I guess you can see right now. Yeah, so you can, because I'm not going to have this on the live broadcast, but it will be on the end after this conversation here. So yeah.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Thank you for listening to the iRacers Lounge podcast. Make sure to go subscribe to us at our YouTube channel at iRacers Lounge. Follow on Twitter and Facebook at iRacers Lounge and SoundCloud at iRacers Lounge. See you on the track.